For the latest on the story, we now cross live to our correspondent Sherwin Bryce-Pease in New York. Good evening, Sherwin. Let's talk about Chuck Blazer and talk us through his role in this indictment.
So actually, Chuck Blazer is really a key figure in the U.S. indictment. He's the former Secretary General of CONCACAF and a FIFA Executive Committee member, and is party to the alleged $10 million we talk so much about in this indictment that was paid to Jack Warner, or allegedly paid to Jack Warner. Let's use the right terminology. But Blazer pleaded guilty on earlier fraud charges in 2013, and as part of the deal with authorities, has been working with them to build their investigation against the other defendants, including recorded conversations through a secret microphone that he apparently had installed in his keyring by the FBI. So indications are that authorities here have recordings of people saying certain things that may very well incriminate the various co-conspirators we have seen mentioned in this indictment.
Sherwin, prosecutors have made it clear at this stage the investigation is still in its early stages and they have to yet cast a wide net globally given the breadth of the charges. Talk us through how they will go about doing this and how long do you think this will take?
Well, the Dutch extradition, for one, will be just the very first major obstacle for those 7 arrests made in Switzerland early yesterday morning. 6 of those FIFA officials have indicated they will fight extradition to the United States. And if the Sherwin Bryce-Pease case is anything to go by, these processes can take long, especially with an appeal. So several of them are citizens. Several of these arrested individuals are citizens of several South American countries, for example, where you might not have extradition treaties, for example, with a country like Venezuela. So this was very well timed by officials in the United States in terms of having these officials in Switzerland where you have this extradition treaty, but that could still take time. This is the beginning of an investigation. There are a number of co-conspirators in this indictment that have not even been named as yet. And which countries are they in? We talk about 2 co-conspirators being in South Africa. South Africa does have an extradition treaty with the United States, but the government of South Africa also has a role to play here. So there are lots of processes underway before this will actually come to trial.
Russia's president has blasted the U.S. for meddling in FIFA's affairs. Has there been any reaction in the U.S. on this?
Well, Russia is, of course, hosting the 2018 World Cup. There has not really been any reaction to Mr. Putin in the United States, but more broadly, the U.S. is known to have laws of actually that cover crimes committed within its territory or abroad. I mean, the Alien Tort Statutes, for example, they allowed victims of apartheid to pursue reparations in U.S. courts against companies that did business in apartheid South Africa. So this sort of pursuit of crimes, in other countries that might have been committed in other countries is not without precedent. And where U.S. commerce laws are violated, things like wire fraud, illegal transaction, money laundering, and so on, there are statutes in place to deal with this corruption, whether it's in territory or not. And in addition, we need to remember that this U.S. indictment does not extend its investigations regarding the awarding of that 2018 World Cup to Russia. That's an investigation being handled by the Swiss. So beyond the facts in this case, I would be speculating as to who is doing what on behalf of whom at this stage.
Sherwin Bryce-Pease, that's our correspondent in the U.S., bringing us the latest there on the scandal that's rocking FIFA.